is Rosie, and I am the owner and artist of Brush Restorations by Rosie. Hello, Allison. How are you? I come live here on the Paint Couture page every other Monday, but next Monday is my husband's birthday, so I'm here today. And as you hop on, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. I'm super excited for tonight because if you guys have been watching me on Mondays, I've been working on a chest and I just ran into roadblock. I am not feeling it. I worked a little bit on it over the weekend and I couldn't bring myself to doing that tonight. So because of the week I've been having, I decided that I was gonna go to my happy place. And if you guys follow me on my page, Brush Restorations by Rosie, you know that I love to do paint pours. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do something, not that I don't like what I was doing, but I'm just gonna do something that comes very easy and natural to me. And I know a lot of you guys ask about, paint pouring. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a little paint pouring today. And I decided that I was gonna do it on some glass vases. These are, I don't know if you guys can see, let's see here, right down here. These are, if you get flowers delivered, these are like the freebie glass vases that come with those flowers. So I have a ton of them because my husband buys me a lot of flowers. No, I'm just kidding. I do have a ton of them. And so I thought, I'm gonna zhuzh some up. I have a lot of colors out. We're gonna play with a lot of colors. Yeah, so let's get started. Let's do some paint pouring. The sun is kind of bright in the back here, but let's see if we can get this situated. Okay, let's see here. So until we kind of start doing the paint pouring, I'm going to keep you guys kind of a little further just so you guys can kind of get the full picture here. So we're going to do some very different, all of them are going to be very different. And I thought I would start off by, and it's really hot. I'm here in Katy, Texas. It's really hot, but I really want you guys to be able to hear me well. So I've just turned off my AC and I'm already like, whoo, it's hot in here. But what I did, these are white because I used the Paint Couture bonding primer. So this is really good to use on surfaces like these, which are glass. So I thought I would go ahead and start the process. This vase right here is actually a really cool vase. It's just, I think personally, I would never use this. The color is just, But all the texture on here, I think, would be a really cool, cool vase to kind of give a little makeover to. And this one I'm not gonna do a paint pour on because I think just being able to like highlight the, the raised texture here would be cool. But I figured I'd use this one to kind of show you guys how I just painted on the bonding primer. So we'll get started. These I prepped prior. So this stuff is great. It really is good for just these, slicker surfaces where you feel like you just need that extra adhesion support. So you want to make sure that you always mix these up really, really well. Just scrape the bottoms. If you are going to be spraying this on using your sprayer, you want to make sure that you do not water it down too much because then you ruin the properties of what it's meant to do. So I'm stirring this up really good, and I have my paintbrush here in a baggie from earlier from what I used on here, and the ones that I've already prepped have two coats on, and I gave them 2 hours in between each coat, in between the coats, to really make sure that it dried well. And you know, if I were to be doing like a piece of furniture or something, I'd probably even let the second coat, you know, go. I'd do it and then, you know, let it go overnight, and really to make sure that you get that really strong protection that you're going for. So, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this vase here really quickly and show you guys. I mean, there's really not much to it. You just, I'm gonna get this, you know, all over here. So, is everybody having a wonderful Monday so far? My week has just been a little hectic. Although I don't have all my kids here at home because 2 of them are still at summer camp. My husband and I own a commercial boiler company, servicing company, and we are down an HR person, so I am having to be the HR guru, not really, of like 50 employees, and it's been pretty draining. So that's why I think my mind is just not where it needs to be to work on that other chest, and I just wanted something, not that that's not fun, but this to me is just so, doing paint pours is just so fun to me, and it's just kind of like my natural place. So paint pours are really fun. You guys can do them on canvases, you can do it on furniture, you can do it, I've been doing them on like cheese boards. So really it's just a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it is very messy, so you definitely want to, you know, not do it in places where you're not wanting a mess, and you know, wear clothes that you wouldn't mind getting dirty. So here is this vase now with a coat of the bonding primer. So we're gonna let that dry, and if, depending on time, doing all these, we can maybe go back to this, but this isn't gonna be paint poured. This one is just going to be, I think we're gonna paint it and then do some, you know, detailing with maybe some of the metallic paint. But I just wanted to show you guys how you can get that bonding primer on there fairly quickly and not much to it. So I'm gonna cover this up now. Again, if you're just hopping on, we're gonna be doing some paint pouring. Let me know if you guys have tried paint pouring before. If you have, what have you done? There's different ways you can do paint pours. I think I learn something new every single time I do a paint pour. So I'm not gonna say I'm like the expert. I've learned quite a bit. I've done quite a bit of them, and they're lots of fun. But again, like I said, very messy. Okay, so I'm gonna move this. I have my, put it back here. Okay, so I have covered up my table here. This is where I resin, so this isn't like a super neat area, and normally if I'm doing furniture or whatnot, I use this plastic and I put it on the ground to try to make sure I don't get paint everywhere, but it's okay if I do out here. So we're gonna be using Floetrol. Paint Couture is a water-based paint. It's an acrylic water-based paint. So you wanna make sure that you use the water-based Floetrol. There is an oil-based one, so make sure when you go to buy this, which I get mine at Home Depot, Lowe's, you can even get it on Amazon, and it's not expensive. So I use this Floetrol, and like I said, we're gonna use a lot of different colors. So my plan here is, I spoke a little bit earlier about our boiler company, and our like colors are red, yellow, orange, and black. And so typically I think I'm gonna be doing our conference table. I'm gonna do like a really cool pour on our conference room table. So normally when I am going to do a paint pour on furniture, I like to somehow do like a little test board to see how the colors are gonna mix. And so I figured, okay, perfect way to test the colors out on this vase, and then I can take it to work with me and have a fun little vase at the entrance of our office. So that's what we're gonna do on this one. On this one, I'm gonna do like we're gonna use Opulent, Midnight Blue, and I also have over here that we're gonna use over here, Little Black Dress, which is Paint Couture's black metallic paint. So we're gonna use the black both on this one, and then on here, I'm also gonna use one of these, this is the rich gold metallic. So this is gonna be Midnight Blue, Opulent, and Little Black Dress, and rich gold. Then over here, if you guys do follow me, you also know that I like to do alcohol ink, work with alcohol ink, and I thought it would be fun to try to maybe, I saw something on Pinterest, and I think it was done with paint, or I'm not even sure, but I have an idea in my mind to try to get, try to replicate some alcohol ink using, I don't know that I'll use all of these colors, but most likely most of them, and then I'm going to use Paint Couture's Pale Gold and Stardust. When doing paint pours, using Paint Couture's metallic paints are just insanely amazing. Their metallics really add a lot to paint pours. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix my paint, and it will, you know, it's, because we're gonna use so many colors, it's gonna take some time here, but basically what I'm going for is I want to probably do, because I really want it to flow pretty quickly, I'm going to use probably like a 50-50 ratio. I'm going to use half paint, half Floetrol. And just depending on what you're doing, and you know, it's really going to determine on how much Floetrol you want to do. The kind of pour we're doing is going to be called a dirty pour. So, all right, let's get started. Let's get some paint here. And I'm going to be using these little Dixie cups, and I apologize if they're not like see-through so you guys can see, but basically I'm adding half paint, half Floetrol. And then, and I really am not going to need more than like one of these Dixie cups for each color, because the surface of these is not that much. And I'm then gonna add them into these bigger solo cups to mix my colors together. So let's go ahead and get started. Why don't we start over here with this vase. It's going to my office, and it's going to be, I'm gonna be using Little Black Dress, Firelight, Russian Red, and Lemon Peel. So I'm going to lay out 4 cups here. Got my sticks although I actually think I'm gonna use some spoons. I buy lots of spoons, so I can, where did I put my spoons? Hold on one second, let me grab my spoons. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to pop those in the comments, and Paint Couture is on, and they're here to answer questions. And if you guys have any questions, I always go back and read all the messages and answer questions. So, all right, where did I put my spoons? I know I brought them out here. Sorry guys, hold on. Looking for my spoons. If not, I'll just use, gosh, I know I brought them out here. Oh, here, they're right in front of my face. Okay, got them. Okay, so, like yesterday when I was working on that chest, I was looking for my sugar plum all over the garage, all over. I was like running around in circles trying to find it. and I just gave up and I did another part of the chest, and then when I went inside to wash all my paintbrushes, there was the sugar plum. When I brought it inside, I have no idea, but it was not even out here, it was inside. Okay, so here's Little Black Dress. This is a new one, so I'm gonna make sure, when you're working with the metallics, you definitely want to make sure you stir them up really well. I don't know if you guys can see here. If you get a new paint and you see these chunks here, do you see on the spoon there? That is good when you're working with metallics. Those are all the pigments just kind of hanging out at the bottom. So you want to make sure you really not only shake up the paint really well, but you also mix and kind of, get those pigments dispersed and really get them mixed up. So you definitely want to make sure you mix up your metallic paints really, really well. The more chunky chunks, the better, I say, when you're working with these metallic paints. So, and this has been sitting here, so I want to make sure that I really get it nice and mixed up. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here. Okay, and so yeah, just bear with me guys, because we're gonna do a lot of fun colors, but again, it just means a lot of mixing up. I probably should have mixed some of these up before, but you know what, it's good to kind of really see how much Floetrol, and I'm gonna do 50-50, because I've actually not ever done a paint pour on vases like this. So I'm assuming that that's the kind of ratio I want. So we'll do that one first, and if I feel like I need to change the ratio, I will. So, do you guys want me to bring you in closer? You guys good right there. If you guys want closer, you guys can show me some hearts. If not, I don't know, just if you guys are good. I'll also bring it, so you guys want closer, I'll bring it up. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer here. Let me get this lemon peel nice and mixed up. And when you are doing paint pours, you wanna keep in mind, for the most part, when you're adding the Floetrol, it's gonna help, kind of keep the colors separate, but you will have, some combining of colors. And one time I did a paint pour and I was using red, white, and it was black and I think silver, and when my red and white mixed together, it turned pink and it was just horrible. It looked horrible together. So you just want to keep that in mind. So when you're layering your colors as you're pouring them into your cup, you want to you just want to be aware of that. And that's why I like to do like sample boards to kind of really see how my colors are going to mix up. And I kind of try to remember what I'm doing, so if when I go back to do my pour on, not a test board, I remember kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so let me bring you guys down a little bit and closer. Man, it's getting hot in here. Okay, so let me bring you guys. There, is that good, you guys? Is that? All right. So this is a smaller vase, so I'm not going to need a whole lot of every color. So I'm probably going to start with probably 3 spoonfuls of each color. Because remember, even though I'm only using that much paint, I'm going to be using the same amount of Floetrol in these cups too. I will say, it can be a little daunting sometimes when you're doing paint pours and you kind of see the amount of paint you use / sometimes waste. But when it comes to paint pours, you really, really don't want to not have enough when you're working, because if you're in the middle of doing like a table or whatnot, and you have to stop to mix more, which I've done, I've had to do that. It gets a little kind of stressful because, you know, the longer your paint sits out, the less movement you're gonna have, and you really want your paint when you're doing a paint pour, or the type that I do. I like to have it move on its own rather than with, you know, using like a heat gun or blow dryer. So, okay, so I have about 2.5 to 3 spoonfuls of each color. I'll put these aside, and then I have my Floetrol here, and I'm gonna add just about the same amount. And the Floetrol is white, so it doesn't change the color of your paint, but, okay. So we got that. And if you guys can see the way I propped the vases so that it can all just run off and it's not kind of gonna get stuck if I were to set it on something. Okay, so I'm just mixing these up. You really wanna make sure you mix in all the Floetrol in there. And Paint Couture isn't like a thick paint, so it's a good paint to kind of work with when you are doing paint pours. I don't know if you guys can see in there, there's what we call cells. Can you guys see that? They're already, you can kind of see how the cells are forming there. So that's cool. I'm gonna mix that up really good. Black. I'm really interested to see kind of how these all combine, because like I said, I really want to do a really cool paint pour on our conference room table at the office and then resin it. So once I'm done doing a paint pour on these vases, depending on how good they look, if it's something that I like, I'll actually probably resin them. So I'll keep them sitting up the way they are, and then I'll just add some clear resin over it. Just like I'm gonna add the paint on. You know, we're gonna pour it from the top and let it kind of drip down. It's what I would do with the resin. So, okay, so we got our colors all mixed up. And so I'm gonna kind of do each one of these a little differently. So what we're gonna do with this one is I'm gonna take all the colors that I just mixed, and we're going to pour them into one cup, and then just pour the cup over right here and just have it drip off. But I'm gonna get all my paints closed up here and put them aside. Camera's a little tilted, so I want to fix that for you guys here. I'm like the worst when it comes to technology. I want to get one of those things where as you move, it kind of follows you. So if you guys have a good one, share it in the comments, because I need one of those. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to basically take these colors and just kind of layer them into this cup here, and then I'm going to pour it over here. So you know, I'm just gonna kind of think of how I would want the colors to kind of combine. So, yeah, I don't really know, but let's just get started here. So I'm gonna put these spoons aside. I'm trying not to make a mess, Now, if I weren't on camera here, I'd be like totally making a mess. I'm not the cleanest person when it comes to being in my space out here. Okay. And these may not be the best colors for you guys to see, but it's a good opportunity for me to create my little test board. I promise you the other ones will be a lot more fun. So, okay, so let's go ahead and do like red. So I'm just pouring these in. I'm tilting my glass here. Let's do some black. Then maybe the orange. Try the yellow. I'm like not really sure how the yellow is gonna combine with, and we're gonna do some more black, maybe red, and really there's no rhyme here, reason. Yellow, orange. And once I start pouring this out, I'll start seeing what I like and what I don't like. And so if I were to like come back in, then I would know what I'm gonna wanna do for the next round. Okay, so colors are in there, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this stuff over because I'm gonna create a huge mess over here because I'm gonna really want to have my paint cover. And I know that I'm gonna probably have to use most of the paints that I just mixed, but I kind of want to see how some of these paints layer together. So I'm just gonna now, wait, can you guys see the top? Should I bring you guys up a little? Let's see. I want you guys to get the full effect here. There we go. Okay. Move these out of the way. Okay. All right, so here we go. And I'm just gonna let this drip down. I see the cells being created. I'll let that kind of sit. So the black here with the orange is looking really cool. I'm feeling like I want maybe more red. So I'm gonna spin this around so you guys can kind of see what's happening all over. So you guys can see. So now when I come back to add, and I mixed way too much paint here, guys, because I still have quite a bit of paint left here in my cup. And I'm pretty much covered, but I'm gonna add more red. I'm liking the black. I feel like there's quite a bit of orange already on there, so I'm gonna go in for some more yellow and do red. So now I'm gonna go back in here. And let that kind of do its thing. I just got my nails done, so I don't want my fingers to get all yucca. Okay, so I'm gonna move this around. Let's see, get this. And I could go in now with my heat gun and kind of use the heat to create more cells. And like here, there's a lot of red, and I actually wasn't planning on using my heat gun, but I think I might grab it because if I were to bring in some heat here, the cells that would open up would bring the colors that are underneath that out. So bear with me. I'm gonna go grab, although then I'm scared that my lights are gonna go out, but let's see here. Let's just add some more and see what happens. Ooh, that looks cool. So say you were doing this on a piece of furniture and there were areas that you wanted to get paint on. You don't want to smudge it, okay? So what I do is like I would come in and just pick up some paint and then just, you know, kind of pour it on. Over here I can tell that, I don't know if you guys can see, right here there's like one white area that's still showing through. Just come in and, you know, pour that over. So you know, sometimes when it comes to paint pours, you don't want to mess with it like a whole lot because then your colors just start getting really just muddled together. So I'm going to leave it like that. I am going to grab my heat gun because I can tell that if we put some heat on there, it's going to create some really cool cells. So let me grab my heat gun 1 second. And then by applying heat, you're gonna pop the air bubbles, which you want to do. But I don't want to apply too much like air because I don't want the I don't want to move my paint around really. I am just going for creating the cells. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of let that be. I don't know, it's like they're not colors that I would really want to do together. So it's not like super exciting, but you know, good. The cells though that are coming through are really cool with these colors, so. And you know, if you can't tell from the video, I'll definitely be posting pictures so I can get close-ups of those. Now I do want you guys to see I mixed way too much paint there. Okay, I have about half of each Dixie cup is still full, so I'll probably put those in little containers and save them for future. You know, if I have not that much paint left, I just throw it away. But if it's enough to do another little project, I'll keep it. You can definitely keep it. Okay, so let's do this next one. This next one is gonna be, I think, really pretty. We're gonna do Opulent. Opulent, which is a green. We're gonna do Midnight Blue. And we're gonna, oh, well, I have black here. Oh, that just fell on my leg. Okay. Wipe my leg off. And I'm wearing my brand new flip-flops because my dogs chewed up my other ones. I really shouldn't be wearing these out here, but okay. So I'm gonna use the Little Black Dress, this black, Opulent, Midnight Blue, and Rich Gold. So let's go ahead and mix up the Opulent. And based off of what I did here, I clearly know that I don't need to mix that much. I am gonna wanna use the Midnight Blue for this big vase, so it's okay if I mix there. And the gold, I think I'm also gonna use over there. So let's open these up and do the same exact thing that I just did. And just mix. So we're starting with Opulence, which is this green. Okay. So is everyone getting excited to do paint pours? And if you don't work with resin, you could just top coat these with a, you know, if you're just gonna use them for decoration and not really use them, you know, to put water in, you could use the Paint Couture top coat. And if you wanted, you know, to make sure that they were water resistant, you could get a top coat that does have that protection. Okay, so Opulent, we're gonna do, I'm just gonna do like 2 spoonfuls because we know that we mixed too much earlier. Okay. There's my Opulent. Then we're gonna do Midnight Blue. I'm gonna do a good amount of the blue because this is a bigger vase that we're gonna be doing next, and I do want the blue to be kind of like a primary color in that one. And then we have our gold, which is stuck, so I need something to bang this with. Okay, so this is the rich gold, which is a very, very pretty gold. And again, we're working with metallic, so you really want to make sure that all those pigments at the bottom, which you can see on the spoon there, are really mixed up and broken up to really get the full effect that you're going for when using these metallic colors. And these metallic colors tend to be like thinner than the consistency that you would use, that the paint is. So, you know, keeping that in mind when you add your Floetrol, that you may not need as much of that to really get that movement that you're looking for. Okay, so alrighty. So now I'm going to add my Floetrol to those colors there, minus the black one because that one already has. So this goes to the gold, and I'm really not going to add that much to the gold because, like I said, that one's already, you know, pretty thin. And as we are sitting here and looking at this, I'm not loving it, but, you know, sometimes you do stuff and it's just not turning out the way you want it. Kind of like the chest that I kept going after, and I was just like, you know what, I just need to take a break. Does that ever happen to you guys? Where you're just like trying so hard to get it just the way you envisioned it, and it's just not coming together the way you had put it together in your mind, and it just became very frustrating, and I just had to step away from it. And this to me is just such my happy place, is doing this. And it seems like a lot of work, but honestly I guess because I've done it so much, I don't know, it's just fun. You really want to get your Floetrol mixed nicely into your paint. And there's other things out there to use to mix into your paint. I've never used them, but I've just always really liked the Floetrol. Okay, so I really want the black and green to be like the majority with the gold, the blue, and with this blue, the Paint Couture blue will dry a lot darker than what you see here. So I take that into consideration. I used Midnight Blue. I did a 4th of July pour, and just keep that in mind, because this blue definitely dries a lot darker than what you see there. So, okay, let's get started here. So I'm gonna start off with black. And I'm gonna kind of maybe leave the gold to the end a little bit. Well, I don't know. Nah, let's add a little gold in here. Gold. And I'm just gonna use the blue a little bit. I'm not gonna, whoops, I just touched that. That's okay. Now I'm gonna go in with my blue and layer it in between gold, green, black, gold, blue, green. Okay, so we'll stop there, and then let's go ahead and do this. You guys close enough? Should I bring you guys closer? So there's a lot of gold going on, which is okay, but kind of like the blue in there. So I'm gonna maybe add some more blue, black, a little bit of gold, black, blue, I'm gonna let that kind of just run down and see if I can just leave it at that, because I like how this is layering here. And I'm gonna take my heat gun and just apply a little bit of heat to that. So I like what's happening, and I don't want to start pouring more here, but I do see over here and here that I need to cover up some white areas. You guys see right there? So again, I'm going to use a stick and just without like really kind of mixing up this paint, just picking it up and just kind of pouring it on. And I gotta be careful because over here it's mixing in with the red. So, and then I can also take it out of my cup here. And maybe I'll just pour it from over here. All right, so I think I've got that one completely covered. And to be honest, I actually was expecting a different outcome with those colors, but again, that blue is gonna dry a lot darker. And I'm gonna try to bring out some of these cells. And I don't know if you guys can see that like on camera, but when we're done here, I can bring the camera in a little closer so you guys can see what I mean by, you know, the cells coming out. Okay, so that one is done. All right, so now let's move on to this big one. And this big one is going to be different. I'm not gonna do the pouring like, oh, I see some spots over here that I need to cover up. Hold on. I'm just lightly tapping the areas so it can kind of do its own thing as, because there's nothing worse than your paint pour drying and there being areas that are missing, because you can't really go back and fix it. I mean, you can, but okay. So now what we're gonna do here is I'm not gonna pour everything into a cup. I'm gonna pour it separately over here. So my plan is, and I have no idea if this is gonna work because I've never done it on the vases, and basically what I'm trying to do is make lines. So I'm gonna, you know, kind of try to do lines, and in between every line I'm gonna use a different color, and then in between I'm gonna use the metallic colors, and then I'm hoping it kind of does its thing and does what I'm picturing in my mind. And if it doesn't, I'm sure it still look pretty. So the colors that I'm thinking are, so I have pale gold, I have Stardust, I definitely want to use those. I think I'm gonna do definitely sea glass. We have plums and roses. We have Elvis parsley, and then sugar plum, and we'll see kind of how that goes. And then maybe if I feel like we need another more pink, we'll do that. So let's just start with these colors here. So plums and roses, sea glass, Elvis parsley, sugar plum. Oh, midnight blue. That's okay. I knew I was missing something. So we're going to use midnight blue that we already have. We already have our rich gold. I might not do the pale gold since I want to get some Stardust in there. So let's go ahead. Okay, let's get this going. I'm gonna need to like hop in the pool after this. It's hot in here. Okay, so these are not the ones I'm using. Plums and roses. Sea glass. So as I'm mixing here, I'll look at the screen. Does anybody have any questions? I know that maybe I didn't catch any, but as I sit here and mix all of these, yeah, Stardust is like amazing. Amazing. Okay. So, use some more spoons. What I got in there. Okay. Mix up my paints nice. So another really cool effect, just if you guys want to try, would be to, you know, cover your vase with your primer, and then like do just white or like a base color and completely cover it. So do what I did by pouring on just that plain color and then going in with like the colors that you would have in your cup that you've mixed into your cup, and then pouring it, because then that white or whatever base color you're using kind of comes through and it gives a really cool effect. Okay, so here's some Stardust. So pretty. Oh yeah, okay. So get some more cups here. And it's a bigger vase, but it's not, you know, huge, so I'm not gonna do a whole lot. I'm probably just gonna do two spoonfuls of each color here. So again, I have Elvis Parsley, Sugar Plum, Midnight Blue, Plums and Roses, Sea Glass, Stardust, and Rich Gold. Okay. All right, guys, almost there. I'm really hoping this kind of turns out the way I'm envisioning it in my mind. Okay, we're missing one Stardust. And so I have these propped up on solo cups. And just a little tip, I don't ever throw away like anything. I will save these cups, and like, here, I'll show you guys. I save them when I do stuff like this because I never know what I'm gonna need them for, and it's silly to just kind of waste. So just a little tip there. So even though it may seem like I'm using a lot of materials, I try to recycle. Okay, so I need my Floetrol. We're gonna add the Floetrol into the Sugar Plum, Sea Glass, Plums and Roses, Elvis Parsley, and the Stardust. Okay. Mix those up and get ready to do this. I don't know what happened there. It said it was trying to reconnect. Okay. All right, we're almost done, guys. I know we're coming up on an hour here, and I've done a lot of mixing of paint, and I feel like I'm melting in here. All right, so I'm gonna start with my blue, my Midnight Blue. And what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna try to go in lines, and in between every color, I'm going to, depending on how it looks, I might need to mix some more of the gold, but I'm gonna put the gold and the Stardust in between. So I'm gonna start with my Midnight Blue here. Okay. And then I'm gonna add that. And then I'm gonna do sea glass. And then do some gold. And then I'm gonna do the Elvis Parsley. And then some more Stardust. Some more gold. Let's do the plums and roses. Some more Stardust. Some more gold in here. I'm definitely gonna need some more gold. I'm gonna tilt that, whoop, a little bit. Some sugar plum. Stardust. Let me get some more gold here. And make sure, like right now, if I were to use that spoon that is in my gold, my rich gold, that probably wouldn't be good because well, I mean, it wouldn't be horrible, but there's Floetrol on there. So I'm not gonna want to put that here in my paint. So I'm just gonna pour some more of that out. I'm gonna need some more of that gold. Get my Floetrol, where did I put that? Mix that up. See, and when you kind of have to do this, it kind of, you know, it kind of breaks up your flow of doing stuff. So I'm gonna add that there. And then now I'm just gonna keep going around with my colors. So the blue, the sea glass, gold, Elvis Parsley, it's not really coming onto there, and that's kind of annoying. Some sea glass. Stardust. Maybe now I'm gonna just start kind of pouring my colors up here. I don't know, let's see what happens. Ooh, that's cool. What do you guys think? Yep, this is just paint and Floetrol. Just some gold. Stardust. I kind of diverted as to what I was doing here, but I'm liking what's going on. And I'll spin it around because it's not really doing it on that side, what we're getting over here. And most of it is falling on the table and not going down the sides. I'm just gonna kind of help it move along. Maybe even grab a stick. Take this. Okay, I'm gonna grab my heat gun, and maybe because I really want to get this covered, I'm going to use the air to really kind of try to get some more movement going on in there. Grab my heat gun. Okay, so there's this area here that's really not cooperating. So I'm gonna have to help it along somehow. And I'm gonna use what I got here. And if you have done paint pours, you'll know that there's definitely areas that you can say, oh my God, this is my favorite part of the paint pour. And then areas like what I'm doing right now where it's probably gonna be your least favorite. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm just slightly tapping to kind of move that paint. And I think we're fully covered. So now I'm going to just apply a little more heat, and then this one should be done. I don't know if you guys, let me bring you guys in closer right now. See if maybe you guys can see how the heat brings out the cells. Do you guys see how that right there, I don't know if you guys can, do you see that? How the colors are coming through. You may or may not want that, you know, so just, you don't have to come in. So that is that. I'm gonna bring you guys in. I'm not loving the red one. I think the blue one is gonna be, you know, once it dries, I think it's gonna definitely give me the look that I was looking for. But if you look over here on the red one, there's some cool stuff happening right there. See that? Whereas, try not to mess that up. Like over here, it's just kind of like, not the best. So, and then up at top, you see how cool the cells are. Let me wipe my hands off a little. Can you guys see those cells? That's cool. That's what I would like more of, especially when doing my paint pour for a table. Well, you guys, that was a lot of fun, and I am dripping. This is my thing. This is where I'm the most comfortable, and I absolutely love doing it, and it was really fun to show you guys tonight. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Everybody have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you guys here in a few weeks. So bye everybody, have a nice weekend, or no, have a nice week. It's not the weekend yet. All right, bye everybody.